Well, I've been busy on a few things. So we've got a combination here of the cargo containers and boxes and barrels kit from Games Workshop and some of the TT Combat MDF punch out pieces. So, like these MDF boxes, for example, and it's a look. We've got like a metallic and coloured finished. Well, in fact, the camera really isn't showing that very well. On camera, that's coming out way greener than it actually is. Isn't that interesting? That green is a hell of a lot more subtle in real life. But hey, a couple of these little these crate things, and there's like little bits of silveriness, silvering showing through as well. Just like tiny little bits of weathering towards the green, but it's again in real life not as green as that. The idea being it's like all on a ship, so it's kind of docks. So it might have all got like algae build-up and things. So that's some of the MDF bits, and then we've got the actual cargo containers that come from the TT Combat set, which I've done several different things to, painted several different colours, tried to get some like distressing effects on them, and just try to dirty them up, basically, just in a quickish way, not trying to go too overboard, because they're just bits of scenery at the end of the day, but they haven't been processed super fast, but I haven't done everything that I possibly could. Yeah, bit of rusting there, and the usual sort of tricks. This kind of radioactive rods kind of container bit that comes with the set, the extended cargo ship set, all this comes with it. Basically, these wooden bits. I painted this just a particular way, and wrote all of this in with red kind of wash, and painted these with red wash, just to kind of get like that's still that goldish kind of color kind of coming through, so it isn't so it's a sort of washed out red, going again towards the metallic a bit. Slightly different shade of green again on this one. Some weathering, like rain has done things and left salt marks, or whatever else has happened. Yep, that one's quite a bit more distressed. Like a lot of the writing, I haven't picked up on and written in, because I just thought I'd leave it subtly there, because that really is a hell of a lot of work as well, writing that in. I thought, actually, faded look, I think there might be something to say about the faded look. Bit of kind of rusting there. Again, that looks really sheer on camera, and in real life, less sheer. Just like some of the distressing and dirt build up and different things, just to sort of break the colour up to what the eye would see, and muck and such. And then we've got these from the plastic Games Workshop set. So these all come individual, and so what I've done is I've glued them together so that they're effectively scatter terrain, a piece of scatter terrain, and then you could just combine them if you needed to. So like these two, you could put like one on top of the other one and have a little stacked thing like that, so it looks really haphazard, or put them like that just together. And again, this is one of these multiple tones, trying to get the silver showing through, sort of the distress there, like it's like the paint is peeling back a bit, and like there's a lot of weathering and different, they've been out in the elements, exposed to it. They've had algae exposure, they've had rust, they've had different things, and it's just a case of trying not to go too far. That's very, very green, isn't it? But maybe if I had a bit more time, I'd maybe actually stick something tactile green on, so you can actually almost feel it, like a moss kind of thing, maybe some static grass or something like that. But do something to it so that it isn't just quite so basic. And again, you know, that corroded, rusted kind of stuff going on. Then we've got the actual plastic cargo containers. And, you know, these guys, just a little bit of trying to wear the paint off to show the silver underneath. That kind of thing going on. Whereas it's all just really heavy dry brushing. Again, you know, a bit more kind of corrosion. And this is just the way I went with it. I didn't paint the lights in. I still could come back and do that, I guess, if I want to take that amount of time on going for that. This one, we've got the guns stuck on. I've just painted them a generic black rather than the red that I've been doing with my Dark Angels. And, you know, yeah, little bits of, like, chipping in a really kind of, like, basic learning how to try and weather and chip way. My first kind of attempt at doing anything like that, to be honest. And, you know, yeah, lots of heavy wear there where the paint has really come away going on. And you can see those effects more sort of like there. And on this one with the doors open, even more so, very much so, in fact. And yeah, you know, the doors open. Ideally, I'd have stuck even more weathering powder, some weathering powder in there. I've got some typhus corrosion there, sort of blocking up bits of it, but I didn't want to go too far with all the corrosion all the way down like that. I'd prefer some sort of like weathering powder or something to stick on down in there and see what that would do. But the option's open to me still to add that in if I want. But, you know, it's just a case of kind of distressing it to show that it's got a storied past, but not going too far at this point. And then the barrels. I've seen these very often painted in the kind of two-tone way, and I've painted them kind of all one kind of tone, and then just heavily, well, yeah, so basically these were painted in like the gold Retributor Armor kind of spray, and then effectively they were heavily washed with red, and then washed with like Nuln Oil black sort of thing, to kind of grime them up, and then just heavily, I know everything's heavily at the moment, dry brush silver to sort of get that paint peeling back, kind of rough collective look to them all. And I've used one of my barrels on my other resin project, which we'll take a look at there at another point, which is having a disaster at the moment, but you know, hey, yeah, I mean, that's kind of just the way I went on these. I didn't want like the sheer red. I didn't want to paint the Aquila separately. I kind of wanted them very sort of rough and old looking and in different states. But yeah, so you can see like the difference between them two. Like that one's way more distressed than the one to the left of it there. And yeah, again, it's kind of a subtle thing, that whole kind of one tone. But if I did any more, when I do some more barrels, I probably will do them like a two color thing. So maybe like a khaki and like a sort of khaki green, like two tone, where, you know, like the middle stripe, you paint one color, and then these two other round elements, top and bottom, are a different color. Yeah, different kinds of barrels. But hey, you know, everyone knows what red barrels means, right? Whoa. But yeah, again, not that sheer red, a different kind of unexpected tone of red that I haven't gone at with paint to do. I've gone out with washes, which it does give you a different end result, doesn't it? Well, you know, there we are. It's something, and it got made. See you at the next one.